Hi, this is part 2 of chapter 1 of Commerce Grade 11 ISC syllabus. Yesterday we discussed what human activities are. Any activities taken up by human in their daily routine is known as human activity. Human activities are further divided into two, which is economic and non-economic. We also discussed what economic activities are in my first video. So, economic activities are any activity which is undertaken to create money, to create wealth. They are done to earn money to satisfy human needs, and they are basically human activities characteristics are that it is done by human and it is endless because we have to do those activities daily on daily basis to live our life. Human activities are divided into economic and non-economic. Yesterday we did economic also, and the characteristics were it has an economic motive to earn money or acquire wealth. Productive, there is production or distribution exchange of goods and services for satisfying human wants. Economic resources, there is they make use of economic resources such as land, labor, capital, and that has to be very rational. That means there has to be proper allocation of these resources to bring out maximum output from them. Economic growth, every individual organization and company, they do such activity that collectively result into economic growth of the country, that is economic development of the country. All economic activities which we do should be lawful, they are recognized by the law. So that means all gambling, marketing, theft, dacoity, these are not economic activities, they are not lawful activities. Further, those activities should be socially desirable. We did a question also. Now, in today's video, we are doing what non-economic activities are. Further, we will also see into what are types of economic activities. Let me tell you what non-economic activities are. Non-economic activities are, as the word says, economic, creating wealth, and but this is non-economic. So here, the objective is not to create wealth. These are those human activities which we do to satisfy our love, our we do it out of our love, we do it out of our religious culture, we do it because of our sentiments and emotions. So with non-economic activities, you will attach this word that it is done out of your sentiments and emotions. The objective here is not to earn monetary gain or reward. Okay, so the people are doing these activities for the reason of love, sympathy, religion, patriotism, etc. For example, mother cooks food and mother look after their children. A nurse taking care of his mother at home is a non-economic activity. Okay, let me read this whole thing for you so that I've also highlighted some point, because these point I'm highlighting for you. If you're following the same book, please highlight them and definitely make use of these words when you're framing your answer in your exam. If you don't have this book, you can please note down. This is a video, you can pause, record, and whatever. So, activities which are undertaken to satisfy social, religion, culture, and sentimental requirements are called non economic activities. The object of these activities is not to create monetary gain or reward. People engage in non economic activities for reason of love, sympathy, religion, patriotism, etc. For example, a mother look after her children, a student donate blood. So, if you see, these activities are not for earning money. No mother is earning money after looking their children or cooking food. An old man goes to temple daily, a rich man donates money to prime minister relief fund, etc. The objective of any activity testing. So, very important point here. When you get a question, distinguish between economic and non-economic, you first have to start with the objective. The objective of economic activities is to earn money. See, the primary objective of economic activity is to earn livelihood and create wealth. Objective of any activity that distinguishes between economic and non-economic. On the other hand, the main objective of non-economic activity is to get some sort of social, cultural, religious, or recreational satisfaction. So the objective of economic activity is to earn money, but the objective of non-economic activity is to get some satisfaction. The output of economic activity can be measured in money, because a maid come to your house, she works whole day, she get 100 rupee per day, that is measured in money. But your mother worked the whole day, 24 hours, cannot be measured in money. That is because she's doing it out of her some satisfaction, out of her love for you. Example, salary of a teacher, the fee of a doctor, and a profit for a businessman is an economic activity. But the result of non-economic activity cannot be measured in terms of money. The same activity may be economic as well as non-economic. This is also a question in your book. You can get a question that any activity at a time can be economic as well as non-economic. Explain this line. So they've given an example of a nurse. Here, a nurse attending a patient in a hospital is an economic activity as she'll be given a salary because she's a nurse in a hospital. But when the same nurse attends to her sick mother at home, it is a non-economic activity because the object is not to earn money here. Thus, the activity of the same person may be economic at a time or place and non-economic at another time or place. The dividing line is not the activity of the person who is doing it, but the objective of which it is undertaken. So there can be two aspect of this question. They can give you this nurse example and they can ask you to explain. They can write a line that a same activity cannot be in economic as well as a non-economic. You can explain. They can also give you a question in this form that doing any activity, the objective for which it is undertaken is important. Explain. Then you have to explain the objective of doing an economic activity and non-economic activity. The objective is what defines what the activity is, not the activity itself. That means a nurse is uh, just a moment. A nurse is doing activity. That means she okay. So that the nurse is doing an activity, that means she's taking care of a patient in hospital, she's taking care of a mother at home. This activity is not important. The importance is what is the object behind doing that activity. In hospital, she's doing this activity to earn money. That is economic activity. At home, she's taking care of mother. She's doing because that's her mother. It's out of her love. That's a non-economic activity. So these following points are very important. One, two, three, four, six. When you will get this question, definitely put these answers in points. You will get more better marks. Love and affection. For example, taking dinner with the family, cooking food for family. Personal satisfaction. For example, meditating in a park. For example, morning walk by a person. Religious, going to the temple. Social benefit for helping victims of animal accident, animal flood or earthquake. Patriotism, donating blood for injured army men. Okay, economic and non-economic activities and their difference is very important topic. You can expect a question. This whole chapter is very important. You can get question on like any topic out of it, and you will definitely get a question from this chapter. Objective of our economic activity is to earn living and acquire a wealth. Sentimental and emotional objective to obtain some sort of personal satisfaction. So so when you will write these answer, do give these 7 points. Very important. Point of distinction is very important. You have to give these sub points. So expectations. What when we do economic activity, what are our expectations? We do it because we want to earn money. But we don't expect money when we are doing non-economic activity. What is the relationship? Directly related to income and wealth, not related to income and wealth. Measurement of outcome. We can measure the economic activity in terms of money. We cannot measure in terms of money the non-economic activity we do. What's the logic behind those activities? Guided by rational considerations of cost and benefit. That means when we do business, that when we do when we do economic activity, we take care what cost is being involved in doing an activity and what is the benefit. That's such a clear thing. What cost I'm going to incur and what am I going to earn against that cost incurred. Here when you do non-economic activities such as when you're taking care of mother, you don't think of it like what cost you are bearing to take care of your mother and what benefit you will get out of it. It is out of your sentiment and emotions without regard to gain or sacrifice. Resources involve proper allocation and optimum use of resources. That is the land labor capital we discussed in economic activity. We make use of those resources to do a economic activity, and thus we expect a wealth or creation of wealth, or we expect money out of those activities. Optimum allocation and use of resources is not essential. For an example, your mother work in your house the whole damn day, your father, your brother is just sitting. This is not optimum utilization of the resources. So types and examples then you will give: business, profession, and employment. We'll do this. Economic activity types of economic activities are business, profession, and employment. Non-economic activities, it's like family oriented, religious, social, cultural, national, patriotic, or maybe social, you're going to temple, such kind of an activities. Now, types of economic activity, again very important topic. The whole chapter I'm saying you again and again, it's very important. There's no topic you can leave from this chapter. So economic activities, as I said, is also known as occupation, very important line. Economic activities are broadly divided into three categories, that is business, profession, employment. We keep on saying economic activity, economic activity. What is economic activity? Economic activity is an activity taken undertaken by human to create money or wealth. What kind of economic activity? It's further divided. So business, what is business? For an example, I'm gonna start a business. I am an entrepreneur. I will do what? I will either manufacture something, I will open up a factory, I will do some production, I will do some transportation of goods or services, I will create utility by transporting one good to another and then further selling it to the retail shops. So such kind of an activity is known as business. Let me read this paragraph for you. Okay, and what why I'm doing this business? I am doing this business because I want to earn money. Profit is what I am expecting out of this uh, activity of this activity. This is which first activity, business activity. Business includes all those economic activities which are concerned with production and exchange of goods or services with the object of earning profit. So these highlighted points are very important. Business is an economic activity because it is undertaken for earning money and producing wealth. All organizations which carry on business activities are called business enterprises or business firms. Similarly, the person who are engaged in business are known as businessmen. Business create various types of utilities. How? By making goods and services more valuable and useful to consumer. For an example, I am manufacturing food here and it is required at another state of the country. So there are other middlemen, businessmen involved. They buy food from my factory, they transport it to other state. So they are creating place utility. They are by transporting that particular item from one place to another. When raw material are converted into finished goods, it creates form utility. When a raw material is converted into a better, a thread is converted into a shirt, that's a form utility. Place utility is created by transporting goods from place of production to place of consumption. Goods are sorted for future use which results in the creation of time utility. For an example, we create milk powder. We create, we have lots and lots of milk. If for an example, in 1 month we dry it up, we make a powder, and then we sell it, and then we use it in another month when there is a shortage of milk. So that's time utility. A factory, a shop, a transport company, a warehouse, an insurance company, a bank are all examples of business activity. Firms providing direct services, that is tailor, dry cleaner, beauty parlor, etc., all are business activities. All of them are doing a business, creating utility in some or the other kind. They expect profit out of that business. Profession. Under profession, we don't produce something. We give our personal skills. We render our personal services. For an example, chartered accountants, doctors. What do? They become doctor, or they become a chartered accountant. They become a professional under some specialized body of knowledge. These institutes, for example, for MBBS they have the Institute for Chartered Accountant, ICI. Under those institute, they follow certain guidelines. They go through certain examination, they go through certain important trainings, then they become member of those institute. Further, they have to conduct their activities, they sell their personal services throughout, not to earn money. Here the objective is that they give services. In fact, they do this activity to bring up, to cover up the mission which the institute holds. So here they are not, the objective is not to earn money. They get a fee against their personal services they render, but here motive is not to earn money. Okay, so they receive, they become member of that institute, they become a doctor, they go through a rigorous training and exam, they get a degree, MBBS or CA, and that particular person is only can do that service. Sure, let's read it. You'll get more clarification on this. The terms the term profession means an occupation which involves application of specialized knowledge and skill to earn a living. So, like a doctor or a CA, they get themselves registered under the under that specialized knowledge, specialized body, and they gain that specialized knowledge and skill, and then further they use such a knowledge and skill to give their personal services and to earn a living. A person who is engaged in profession are called professionals. They render personal services of a specialized nature to their client. The service is based on personal education, professional education, training, and this means, for example, I am a company secretary today. So I can do, for example, incorporation of companies, I can do annual file, I can do lot and lot of things based on what my profession allows me, based on what my institute says our mission is. So, based on this professional education which I have, the training which I went under, and the experience which I have, I give that service. And professionals receive a fee for their services. Chartered accountant, medicine, law, tax, consultancy are example of profession. Specialized body of knowledge. So, they have a every profession has a specialized and systematized body of knowledge. For example, this means it's like CA, CS, they have their own institutes, they have that systematized body of knowledge, and we as a member we are required to learn that knowledge first. Restricted entry to a profession is allowed only to those who have completed the prescribed examination and have passed the specified examination. So this profession, for example, I have a office, I have a I practice my, company, I'm a company secretary and I practice it. So there's a restriction to it because I am a member, I have that license, I have that certificate of practice license, nobody else can do it on, on my name. Formal education and training. So this education and training is already decided by that systematized body of knowledge, that institute, and the profession. This a profession provides facilities for formal education and training to those who want to acquire professional qualification. One must acquire the prescribed degree, MBBS. So if you want to be a professional, you have to be a doctor, you have to get that MBBS, you have to be a CA, LLB, CS, etc. by undergoing the prescribed training which your institute or the systematized body of knowledge says. Professional association. Every profession has its own association. A professional association is a statutory body that institute which I said, and its membership is essential. That means there has to be a statutory body and you have to be a member of that statutory body. The association regulates entry. This body regulates the entry in the profession, grants certificate of practice, formulates and enforce code of conduct. This means this statutory body, you can say association or the institute, it regulates who will be the member of their institute and who will practice on the guidelines given by that institute, and further institute decides the code of conduct Business businessmen do to earn money. Institutes, they create memberships not to earn money. In fact, to fulfill their mission. For an example, company secretaries, the institute of the mission of the institute is to have a corporate governance. So those are like huge, big words for you right now, and that's it. Enough for you right now. So the body governs like who will be the member, and further these people, professionals, they don't earn money. The motive is not to earn money but to give their personal services. Okay. Service motive. Professionals are expected to emphasize services to their clients rather than economic gain. I have an office, I practice, or a doctor. The doctor is a professional. For doctor, earning money from patient is not the objective. The objective here is to serve that patient. Code of conduct. The activities of professional are regulated by the formal code of conduct. We have a code of conduct. Uh, there are certain guidelines under which we have to work. The code is prescribed by the professional association of which he is a member. Okay, that's it for you. Employment is like, there has to be a relationship between an employer and an employee. If I am an employer, I have 10 employees. I am bringing them to work. I will decide what they will do. We have a written or a oral agreement between us. I am my employer. I am guiding them. I am giving them work, what has to be done. On the other side, employees are the one who get wages, salary. They work as per the guideline of the employer. Okay. So let's read it. Employment mean an economic activity where people work for others in exchange of some remuneration. The person who work for others are called employees. The person or organization which engage them to work others to work for them are called employers. The remuneration by an employer to his employee is known as wages or salary. The employee performs the work assigned to him by his employer as per the terms and condition of the employee. So there has to be a relationship between employer and employee. They sign terms and condition. Employer gives work, employee does that work, and they are paid. There is oral or written agreement between the employer and the employee. The employee acts under the guidance and control of his employer. The employer by a government department undertaking or a private, either a government department is employer or a private firm. Employment does include all type of jobs in government offices and private enterprises. When a professionally qualified person work as an employee, he is also said to be a to be in employment. For example, doctor may be employed in a hospital, a chartered accountant may be working as an accountant in a company, and a lawyer may serve as a law office in a bank. So we can get a question here with this line: when a professionally qualified person work as an employee, he is also said to be an employee. For example, I am a company secretary. Today I am working in any company as a CS. I'm an employee there. I'm not a professional. I'm a professional, but I'm in a employment there. Then okay. So main features which will explain the employment, and important for you to note them in the answer is what will fetch you very nice good marks. In employment, a person works for others called employer, and employee provides personal services. There is a service agreement or contract between the employee and the employer. The employee has to obey the order of the employer. No capital investment is made by the employee. The employee gets wages or salary for his or her services. So, a teacher teaching in a school or a college, a teacher is going to school to teach. Here, she is not a professional. She's not doing a business. She's working under a school. She's been paid the salary. So, she is in employment. An engineer employed in Municipal Corporation of Delhi, an accountant working in the accounts department of. So this accountant can be a company chartered accountant. He's a professional, but he's working under a department of a company. So it's an employment. A person working as the plant manager of a factory, a nurse or a doctor working in a hospital. Okay, what is the difference between business profession and employment? Very important again. Mode of establishment. Who establishes this? An entrepreneur establishes the business. A membership or enrollment of a recognized professional association is important for a professional, and in a employment, there has to be a agreement between employer and employee, and a relationship between a employer and an employee. So a business enterprise is established when an entrepreneur takes a decision to carry on some business activity. For an example, excuse me, I today decide to open up a factory. I'll be an entrepreneur and I am taking the decision to carry on some business activity to earn money. So it's an economic activity and it's a business. In a profession, on the other hand, a membership or enrollment of a recognized professional association or institution is essential. In order to take an employment, a person has to enter into a contract of service. Simple. Nature of work. In business, uh, we provide exchange of goods, we do manufacturing, we do production to satisfy human wants. On the other hand, a professional renders a personalized services of a specialized nature to his clients. Specialized nature, it decides, the institute decides what work they are going to do. An employee performs the work assigned by the employer under the contract of service, whatever is given as per the job. Qualification. For business, there is no formal education required, but for professional, a specialized knowledge and training is essential. Minimum educational qualification are prescribed for every profession. Very important line. In case of employment, the qualification depends upon nature of the job. Okay. Main objective. Main objective is to earn profit. Professional, main objective is to serve. Service is the motive here and sense of mission. For employment, the main objective is to earn salary and other benefits which you get from employer. Investment. Every business, when you open up a business, definitely you have to invest. You want a capital. So when we start a business, we have to invest. We want capital depending on what business we are going to start. For example, if I have to open up a factory, I need to understand what will be the production, what machineries do I need, how much labor do I need, what amount of working capital do I need. In a professional, when I had to set up my office, I need little capital, not as much as required in business, because I need a basic office, some laptop, and that's it. There is no capital requirement in case of employment. Risk. Definitely there is too much of inherent element of risk in business and professional, but practically no risk is involved in case of employment, right? There can be loss in business, but in profession and employment, the return is never negative. Okay, reward. Profit is a reward for businessmen, fee is a reward for profession, and wages and salary is a reward for employment. Transfer of interest. Businesses can be transferred to their ownership after death, or you can transfer even before death. But profession and employment, it cannot be transferred. I am a company secretary, I am the member of the institute, I cannot transfer this membership right to any relative or anyone. Same is with the job or employment. Public advertisement. Businesses require public advertisement. It is important for them to advertise, but professionals cannot do it. It is not in their code of conduct. The code of conduct from every institute, they don't allow you to advertise yourself. The same is, there is no public advertisement in case of services also. So there are differences in these three activities of economic, business, profession, and employment, but these three are much complementary to each other. They have a close interrelation between each other as well. So a business enterprises employs a large number of persons in order to achieve its objective. For an example, today I open up a factory. I can hire company secretary. I can hire a chartered accountant. that is the professions I'm hiring, they will be my employees. So everything is mingled up and they are so much interrelated. It also requires the service of professional experts such as chartered accountants, lawyers, architects, cost accounting, etc. Modern businesses have become very complex. Trained and experienced managers and other experts are required for efficient business operations. Professional and other employees provide the necessary manpower for efficient running of business concern. Thus, business, profession, and employment are complementary to one other. So you can get a question from this paragraph as well. They can write you just one line that there's a close interrelation between business, profession, and services, and explain what these three are and how are they interrelated. You can get a question like this also. So you have a good table differentiation between these three. All this is explained, but I want you all to learn all these, objective, minimum qualification, nature of work. Everything is explained. I have done that in the above explanation. You will find all of them here. Let's do a question for more clarification. I did a question yesterday. One which I'm going to do now is more important. Okay. So we will look into activities and we will decide which what kind of a economic activity is it. So Sita operating a nursing home. Operating, that means she is running. She must be having some kind of a license. She's a professional. Okay, Sita is a it's a professional. Mohan working as a officer. Looks like a job too, employment. Deepak teaching commerce in a reputed job, employment. Rima running a grocery store, retail business, it's a business. Fourth. Naresh Tehran, head of Medanta Hospital in Gurgaon. So it's a head. That means he is a doctor. He has that professional skills. Fifth profession. Mukesh Ambani, chairman. Chairman, then he must be Mukesh Ambani. We know that it's a business. Chairman of Reliance Industries. Okay. Uh, Chandra Kochak, chairman of ICICI. It's employment because we know there's no ownership. Mukesh Ambani owns the business because you have to have that knowledge as well that Mukesh Ambani owns the business, so it's a business. Chandra Kochak doesn't own that business, just a chairman of ICICI Bank, so it's a employment. MS Dhoni, it's employment. Anybody can enter. It's employment. Actually, you can also differentiate from this line. In employment, you can see that there can be a entry of others or not. So MS Dhoni, for an example, is a cricketer. Anybody can be a cricketer. Also, the age limit we have to see. So we can understand from this point of view also that my MS Dhoni definitely not doing a business there. He's not a profession. It's not a profession, and it's a job. Sachin Bansal, CEO of Flipkart. It's CEO. Okay, then it is business with the ownership of. We know that Sachin Bansal is the owner CEO, so it's a owner. We also have to have some little information like that. Chairman of State Bank of India. It's a job. It's employment. I did this question in my last video. So this is the chapter 1. It's very important chapter. You can view the videos again and again to clarify your concept. Here understanding and clarifying the concept is very important because this is the base, and then we will go ahead with other chapters. I can give you a brush up of this chapter now in a very quick manner. We did what human activities are. Human activities are the activity which I'm recording right now. It's a human activity. You are listening to it. It's a economic activity. It's a human activity. Both of us are doing non-economic activity. No one is earning money out of it. So it is done by humans, it is endless, it recurs, it is, it is to satisfy human wants. It is continued throughout the life, it's very wide. It could be it is because we want to earn money, or we want to obtain personal satisfaction. Now economic activity, very important in these two is the objective why we are doing. We do a economic activity to earn money, wealth. We do non-economic activity to because of our own satisfaction and love. Types of economic activities are business, profession, and salary, your employment. Business we do to earn profit. It's production, manufacturing, exchange of goods and services. It creates utility to earn money. Profession, it's under a specialized body, systematized body of knowledge. We become a member of that body, and then we why do we do that? To we emphasize on giving personal services and fulfilling the mission of the institute. Employment, it is as per the contract, it is as per the employment guidelines, it is as per the agreement signed by employer and the employee. Then we did distinction. You should at least read this whole chapter from your book at least 2 to 3 times, and do make sure that you use good highlighted all these highlighted words in your answers. Only then you can expect really good from this subject. It is important for you to frame very nicely. It is important for you to write all subheadings. These subheadings are very important. If you write these subheadings, 50% of it is already in. Then comes the explanation you can do by making use of these highlighted highlighted lines and words, which I feel is important to, which I feel should be a part of this, a part of your answer. If you want, I can share this copy where I've highlighted all, or you can highlight in your book as well. Okay, thank you. I'll be meeting you all soon in my chapter 2 recording. Thanks a lot.